Hello everybody, how's it going? So welcome to our review of One Piece chapter 1074. And this chapter opens up a few answers to a lot of questions. But the biggest question of all is, how is this arc going to end? Because it seems like we're getting closer and closer. But the Straw Hats need Barney and Vegapunk to join with them so they can go on board the Sunny. But little do they know, they have Kizaru and Saturn and the Gorosei awaiting them. And possibly so much more. Let's start off with the cover page, and very simplistic. In the flashback, we got George, Caesar Cloud, and Queen. They're duking it out in a three-way dance, I guess. So we start off the chapter with Egghead Island. Believe it or not, another Kuma or pacifista causing a scene. In this case, attacking CP0 agents. Without Kaku and Rob Lucci, they're pretty much fodder at this point. Come to find out that PX-41 pacifista is attacking them. Compared to the contrast of what's going on at Murajose right now, with the actual Bafta Kuma climbing up to get back to Murajose for whatever reason, and causing havoc, they're dismantling the CP0 agents, and they're like, okay, we need to give it up because they're stronger than the pacifistas during the Marineford arc, so we can't deal with this. Then we come to find out that Sentomaru is actually awake, and not only awake, but still alive. So that was actually a neat little surprise. I said they had a clone of Sentomaru for a reason, so Sentomaru obviously is an endurance machine because he took a lot of damage from Rob Lucci and still survived, so that's pretty impressive. So I do like this moment too because he's thinking about what Luffy said to him in Gear 5th, I'll get Vegapunk out of Egghead Island no matter what. So that's still the plan when it comes to Luffy, but he's maxed out, running all over the place. We see an army of pacifistas, and their pretty much orders are to direct Vegapunk and help the Straw Hats get Vegapunk securely off the island. Now, anything after that, I don't know what's going to happen, but I have my own ideas what's going to happen. That was actually pretty cool. So then we go to Luffy, who's maxed out. He can't find Bonnie. He can't find Vegapunk. So they've been running around. We see Chopper there too, and all the Straw Hats are together, which is pretty cool because we see Zoro, Brook, and Stussy. And I like this because Stussy, Brook, and Zoro are they're dressed for the occasion now because they got Vegapunk suits too. So that was actually pretty cool. Seeing Stussy in a suit, Zoro specifically in a suit, because that doesn't happen very often. So that was actually pretty cool. But I'm guessing the Atlas is up and running because you see Atlas again. All the Vegapunk sticks with the exception of the original Vegapunk. So we have a clone of Stella, and I'm not gonna lie, I got confused when Shaka points out we must find Stella. So there's strange things happening right now. So I mean, the Stella actually governs or keeps surveillance over what's going on with the satellites on the island around the lab. So they need to find him or her, which is interesting because Shaka says he knows where they're at because when Luffy hears about this, he's freaking out. Like, oh, you could have told me sooner. Like, they know where Bonnie is at. Which, yeah, so they're talking about finding the actual Vegapunk because they're mentioning they see Bonnie, which Luffy freaks out about because he says, oh, you could have said that sooner. So Vegapunk has gone and disappeared. So we know where Bonnie is at, but we can't find out where Vegapunk's at. So the hell and I noticed this too, especially when we saw Bonnie again. Like, Vegapunk was nowhere in sight, so where the hell is he at? So I'm guessing they need to find him first. But first off, Nami's like, yo, we'll go search for him. The more, the merrier, and the sooner we find him, the sooner we can get the hell out of here. Stussy also says she's going to find him too. And it's interesting too, if you see Nami and Robin in one panel, you can see Sanji going gaga over Stussy in the background. It's hilarious. Which, by the way, you'd think he'd go gaga over all of them because they're all suited, but that's typical Sanji. So, and Sanji says, I want to take me with you, and she just flat out ignores him. Then this is easily the funniest part of the entire chapter. So Zoro says, I'm going to go too because we need to find one crazy person, right? So Sanji's like, you of all people want to find someone who's going to look at for you if you get lost. So stay put. Chopper's like, yo, don't go out there. He's right. Just stay put, Zoro. Robin was a surprising one because I was like, yeah, just stay here, okay? Because you're going to get lost anyway. So they're digging on Zoro. Zoro and Luffy are keeping watch over Lucci and Kaku or KO'd right now, at least for the time being. So that was actually pretty cool. Then we go over to the lab where with the giant paw on it, where we're about to get some information about Kuma, because we see Barney in Kuma's memories, I'm assuming, because she's like huffing and puffing, and then you see an infant, a huge infant, sobbing, crying. I think this is the first time we've seen Kuma without the hat as a child. I think Oda's on the SBS has revealed Kuma's design as a child, because he's done it for all of the Shichibukai, but this is the first time we've seen it without the hat and the gloves. So I don't know how old Kuma is, but I remember when Barney was talking with Luffy about how Kuma was from a different race or different type, was different, because we see Kuma and he's literally being abused by these three silhouettes. Now we don't know who these silhouettes are. But the first two I thought, wait, could there must be his parents just beating the hell out of him? Because the dialogue coming from it is like, if you need to come back, because if you run away, all of us will be killed. So I'm guessing they want Kuma as a bargaining chip for something or someone. I'm guessing it has something to do with the world government, because why else would Kuma be darting for Marajose right now? Going on, Barney, and I actually like the Oda added this touch. We're seeing Kuma as an infant being beaten, and we're seeing, as this is going on, also Jory Barney is in pain because she's tearing up, but it's an emotional pain, it's not physical pain. As soon as they're about to, they're going overboard, Barney wants to actually put a stop to it, and that's where she gets thrown from the memory and thrown outside the paw bubble that holds the memories of Kuma. But she's obviously going back to look at the memories again because she's reaching her hand out. But before then, again, I like the transition where you go back and forth. We see Barney tearing up and she's like perplexed by all this. So there has to be a lot more to Kuma, because what we saw isn't, I don't see that as anything embarrassing. We saw this with Robin in her childhood getting abused. I'm hoping there's going to be something else to that why Vegapunk didn't want Barney seeing this. I like the back and forth, because as this is going on with Barney being thrown out the memory bubble or the memory paw, we see Kuma climbing up the red wall to go up to Marajose, and we see people yelling, "Shoot him down!" So this is going to end tragically for Kuma one way or the other. So, and it's going to have a tie-in with Barney's. Can't wait to see Barney flip the switch and actually take it right to the world government and align with Luffy, because that's inevitably what's going to happen. Because what else is there for Barney to do at this point after she sees this? So we see, I believe it's Edison, one of Vagabond 6, looking for Stella. And while Edison is looking for Stella, we see out of nowhere an explosion goes on. I'll give my 2 cents in a minute about that explosion. But we see an explosion take place in the lab, and then it cuts away to We News blimp, where we see Morgan News spreading more propaganda, because obviously they've learned about, the world government is carrying out an assassination of Dr. Vegapunk. So, killing the #1 genius in the world. This is just like the O'Hara incident. He's seen as the bad ones here. Vegapunk is very famous throughout the world. He is the man who invented many kinds of energy that powers up settlements in the world. And they're talking about how they're meeting up with Luffy. Then the headline will be like this: the Emperor Straw Hat Luffy kidnapped Vegapunk, barricaded himself on Naked Island, declares war on all the Marines, which is farther from the truth. The government will thank me for this. Now let's go make a living. So he's hyping up Luffy, but in a way it's making it look like the world government are doing good things, I guess. But then out of nowhere, there's no way Luffy would do such a thing, and reveals it's none other than Vivi that says this. And I'm like, wait, whoa. We also see Wapple there, who's freaking out. And it looks also like, if you look closely, there's a silhouette behind Wapple. So I don't know what that's about, but we actually see Vivi for the first time in I don't know how long. What, has it been 5 years nearly? We haven't seen her since the Reverie, and she hasn't been captured. She hasn't been killed, although I guess she's going to be hunted. We see two people in the background. One of them said, "I lent her clothes." So I'm guessing whatever happened was pretty traumatic for Vivi, because yesterday you were crying your eyes out. So what happened in 24 hours? So that was actually kind of a neat little surprise that Vivi was with Morgan's News all this time, or at least for a portion of time. Wapple's there too. Wapple said he had some type of information, but we don't know what that was. When Vivi gets reintroduced, Vivi's talking about Luffy like he wouldn't do such a thing. When we saw the Straw Hats talking about Vivi, right? Zoro was mentioning, oh, when the time comes, we'll help Vivi out if she needs it, but don't underestimate her. So this goes back into what Zoro said. There's definitely going to be a reunion, but there's also some information that Bonnie needs to feed to the Straw Hats that's not going to get. They're not going to get in the newspapers because Morgan's news is spreading propaganda. So the facts are going to come from Bonnie since she was there, and now she's the closest one to actually give them the heads up on what went down. I've been saying that I don't know how long since the reverie ended that type of scenario was going to take place. That's pretty much how the chapter ends with the one who shakes up the world is me. It doesn't matter if it's a lie or a truth. The newspapers are all about entertainment. No shit. That's how things work in the real world too. So that was actually a neat little surprise to see Vivi is okay and well. I kind of want to know what happened before she was with Morgan's news all this for at least for a day. I'm guessing that's something to do with Sabo. We'll get an explanation sooner or later. To be completely honest, like I kind of wanted more about Kuma in this chapter, but I'm guessing we're gonna see that more. Now the explosion, that could be one of three things. Either one, likely a possibility is that Bonnie hit the memory paw or Vegapunk did something to like shut down that room and exploded, or it has something to do with Lucci and Kaku waking back up because Luffy and Zoro are keeping guard. It could to do with Yuri Bonnie because the longer that Oda draws this out, the harder it is going to be for him to wrap up and move on to the next arc. So the more he drags this battle out with his Cypher Pole. And then again, you also have the pacifistas. And we know that Kizaru, along with Saturn, a member of the Gorosei, are coming in to Egghead Island to attack, to intercept. The Straw Hats escape, so I don't know if that's something to do with it. And maybe they overwrite the commands as the pacifistas, because they were also said to like keep guard at the coast, see if anything's coming our way. So maybe that was it, I don't know. My main guess is something to do with Bonnie and touching the memory port. Or maybe she just like saw what was going on and just raised off screen and she went completely nuts. And we'll find that out in the next chapter what she saw. So that's just my guess. But interesting little twist, cool little twist to see Vivi is okay, all good and well for now. And she's been chilling with Morgan's news for at least a day. Also, was an okay chapter with an interesting twist at the end. But I feel like we could have gotten more when it comes to like Kuma. But I'm guessing Oda's going to save that for either the next two chapters. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment, rate, subscribe. Thank you guys for all the support. Catch you guys later. Bye.